Hey guys, hope you guys had a good week of trading. So looking here at the week ahead, we have a short week of trading. We are going to be open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Markets will be closed on Thursday. Futures will open and probably close. I think it's like 1 p.m. again, like usual when we have a short week. Friday, markets will be open. However, they will close at 1 p.m. So essentially, the way to look at this is that your 1 p.m. is your 4 p.m. for the day. So if you're in options, you expect them to be closed out and your premiums to start moving and everything like that come 1 p.m. Now, I will not be trading on Friday. Friday will likely be a terrible day of trading. It will be probably the lowest volume day of the year, like usual. And most likely, it will be just kind of like today, a very, very tight range. If you're in options, premiums are adjusted for that. But I remember last year, it was very tough to get a win. And if you're in futures, more importantly, there most likely will not be enough full movement in general to really win. So for me, I plan on taking Friday off. I might be out of town, I'm not sure yet, but either way, I will be taking Friday off. So taking a look at the chart here on SPY Daily, we basically are just sitting rejecting this September 14th high here. We just can't break through it like we need to. Realistically, if you look at this zoomed out here, we got to see bulls break and close over 453.27 supply. And then once that happens, we likely will push higher. However, I am looking for more likely than not a little bit of a retrace. Again, we are pretty overextended. You can see really since the 10th, so about a full week, we have not touched the AEMA. So I'm looking for a little bit of a retrace, maybe down in this 447 area. Now, from a weekly standpoint, very, very bullish. We have basically in 3 weeks pushed 9.5%, just a huge move to the upside. What we did is we basically came up to our 450.75, and it's really 450.9 weekly supply from this early September right here. We closed at it. So we did not quite breach it, but we touched it. So either two scenario plays out, we double top kind of like here and we drop, or we're going to make a push up and touch 456.89 supply from July 24th. That is our 52-week high supply. Now, when we go over to futures here, yesterday I mentioned we had turned our supply into demand at 45.14. So I expected that we would basically touch that and hold that. And that's exactly what we did. So we ended up back testing that and then we bounced right off of it. Now, again, if you look here in the last 4 days, we have had a very, very tight range. So total over the last 3 days, we've only moved about 40 points. That is usually what we get in one full day. So very, very tight range here. We have another doji, 3 dojis in a row. So we're either going to end up getting a bit of a rounding off top here and likely we'll come back down to this area, or we're going to turn this into a bull flag and we'll see that break out into the 45.55 to 45.96 area. Going over to the weekly here, same thing. We broke our very long downtrend since June. Now, on futures here, we actually did close over our 45.15 supply from back in September. So that opens up that move to potentially 46.10, which is our July 31st week, 52-week high. So that is our target currently. Now, going over to the Qs, we have a little bit of a different chart here. So we had put our demand in yesterday, and today we actually did put a new supply in. So basically we have a supply and demand sitting right here. Basically, we're just kind of chopping and we're stuck in the zone. So what I'm looking for here is we're either going to get a bounce up higher and put a new demand in down here at 384.85, or we're going to round off and likely come back down to our 8 EMA. Now, we did break our bull channel here. This is the only one that broke its bull channel today. So I don't put as much weight into the Qs as I do NQ and ES, but I am looking for this as a potential sign of some downside. My downside target would be 382.79, which would be about where the 8 EMA will be projected to be on Monday. Looking at the Qs weekly here, so we broke our overall downtrend that we've been in since really November 2021. So if you took the peak on November 2021 and then our peak on July of 2023, we had a downward channel there. We have broken through that. And if you zoom out here, you can see this is since really September of 2022, just a massive bull flag. So kind of how I'm seeing this is that we had our breakout, we had our back test of the bull flag, and when we broke our weekly resistance last week, this is our breakout of the bull flag, and that likely is going to take us back up into the 400s. Now, do I have a time frame on that? Not really. I think by end of year we could look for 400. I don't think we're going to get an all-time high, but I do think that we could certainly have a good move up, and we are about at high a day, so that was 387.98. And we are at 387.75. So we're about 10 cents from a new 52-week high on the Qs. Now, when we go over to NQ here, you can see kind of the same thing here. So interestingly enough, NQ is presenting a little differently in that it put up the supply in on Tuesday at 15,883, but we have not put a demand in and we have not really broken out either, nor have we broken down. So again, this looks like a really nice massive bull flag here, which if we can open futures over 15,887 and push, then that bull flag likely does break out to the upside. And really, if we can close over, zooming out here, this 15,965, we're going to be moving into the 16,000 range. However, if this breaks and this fails as a bull flag, then likely we come down and our projected AEMA will be about 15.7, probably closer to 775. So that'll be a potential bounce target. We could come down to 15,676, but that would be a pretty big sell-off. But that would be a back test right here of previous resistance from September. And as long as we held that, that would be pretty bullish. Now, going over to the NQ here weekly, this almost looks like a nice little cup and handle that's forming here, which if this is a cup and handle, we're going to get a back test of likely 15,524. Now, same thing here, though. If you look, this is a new 52-week closing high. So basically, we didn't put a new high in, but we did close higher than we did back here in July. So we're either going to put in a double top and come back down and take out these supplies before we push up, or we're just going to make a big move up. Same thing here, you zoom out, it looks like a really nice convincing bull flag breakout. Now going over to the VIX here, VIX has been a little frustrating. I actually am not looking at the VIX anymore. While the VIX is in the 13 to really 15.3 area, I am not watching it, mostly because I do not believe it will actually be helpful. Most of the time, the VIX is going to basically it's going to just kind of chop around. So if you looked this morning, and even looking at NQ did close red today. But if you looked at this morning, we had, some red in the market and we had red VIX. So, that makes it tough to really trust it. But looking at it, and I think it's important to still watch it and kind of get an overall trend of what it's doing. This looks like, and I was talking about it earlier this week, this looks like a really nice bear flag that is breaking down to the downside. So outside of a massive spike on Monday to the upside in the VIX, with a new supply being put in at 14.34 and finally closing below that 14.14 demand, likely we are going to make a move down to 12.79 demand. If this is a bear flag break into the downside, then most likely those daily bull flags we are seeing are going to play out, and we will get a breakout to the upside next week. Now, short weeks have a way of kind of making things a little different, but for the most part here, I think we do get a bit of a bearish day on Monday. But we'll see what the short week brings. Sometimes short weeks bring low volume and just kind of tough trading. So hope you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you guys next week.